Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to Keep Her Quick, your latest local news and weather commercial free in about 17 minutes or less. We're going to jump right into this. Yakima Fire is urging drivers on I-82 near the Greenway to be careful as crews work to put out a fire. Just after 5 this morning, Jefferson dispatchers they were dispatched to the fire that was engulfing the play structure in McGuire Park. We saw a little bit of that smoke this morning on the webcam, but as we work our way through the day today, are we going to see any potential fire danger weather?
Well, the fire danger is certainly just lurking. It has been so dry. I know we saw a little bit of rainfall around last Friday through the weekend, but it was so minimal it certainly didn't alleviate the fire danger. Fire season, I should say, is certainly still in charge. And in fact, there is a fire weather watch that goes into effect tomorrow for parts of our viewing area that I will talk about more a little bit later on. But right now, let's just take a look at our weather headlines. And the biggest weather headlines are going to be revolving around heat. Today is going to be a sunny and seasonal Thursday with high temperatures into the upper 80s to low 90s. As we get towards the weekend, we are going to see a bit of a warm up on Friday, but then much warmer temperatures as we do go into Saturday and Sunday. In fact, triple digits are going to be possible. And then the very hot temperatures will remain in place through next week. We'll talk more about all three of these weather headlines coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in the Tri-Cities. A family in Pasco is without their home after it went up in flames yesterday afternoon. It happened in the Lakeview Mobile Home Park in East Pasco just after 12:45. Firefighters say the people inside told them that when they turned on an AC unit, smoke started coming out of their electrical panel. Now, they were able to get out of the house safely, but by the time firefighters arrived, their house was already a total loss. No injuries were reported, and the Red Cross has been contacted to help the family. Meanwhile, fire crews continue to make progress in their efforts to contain the Sun Country fire burning near Cle Elum. The fire is burning south of Interstate 90 near Sun Country and the Little Creek areas. Right now, it's about 30% contained and has burned 72 acres. Multiple fires started on Monday, forcing I-90 to be shut down in both directions. So far, no structures have burned and there are no reports of any injuries. All evacuation orders have been lifted, though the Kittitas County Sheriff posted on Facebook that sparks thrown from the rim of a trailer being towed eastbound are believed to be the cause. Switching gears to some crime news, the man accused of stabbing a Pasco school bus driver to death in 2021 was back in court this week hearing from a judge about his plea of not guilty by reason of insanity. The 38-year-old man is accused of boarding a school bus driven by Richard Lenhart and stabbing him to death. There were kids on the bus at the time who witnessed the murder. This week, a judge ruled that the suspect's attorney's reasoning for an insanity plea didn't provide her with enough evidence to dismiss the case. The 38-year-old will now have to face a jury for the second-degree murder charge. His next court date is scheduled for September 16th. And a 6-month moratorium is now in place in Cle Elum that prevents any new stores in the downtown area from selling vaping products or smoking paraphernalia. The Cle Elum City Council voted unanimously to approve the ban at their meeting last week. The decision comes after growing concerns about a proposed smoke shop opening across the street from the teen center in downtown. Cle Elum will not be accepting applications for building permits or business licenses from retail vaping or smoking shops under the moratorium. The 6-month ban does not affect businesses that already sell vaping and smoking products. The city of Pasco has announced a full closure of Broadmoor Boulevard beginning next week for nighttime construction. City leaders say the Broadmoor intersection with Sandifer Parkway will be completely closed to traffic for night work beginning at 7 in the evening and ending at 5 in the morning, Monday through Wednesday. Work in the area is set to be completed come September. And Representative Dan Newhouse visited Prosser yesterday to listen to concerns from farmers and growers and answer some of their questions. KRMA's John Franklin was there and tells us more.
One of the questions asked was about the federal hiring freeze, which some local service providers, like the Yakima Office for the Bureau of Reclamation, has felt.
I know that the people who are left are doing the job of 4 or 5 different people.
The executive order with the hiring freeze expires on October 15th.
That gives us an opportunity to inform the administration where cuts went too far, right? Their needs are not being met.
Another farmer asked why the industry isn't making ends meet.
Farming is not making any money. What is your solution that all of us can bring more money to my farm?
How do we make farming profitable again? You know, if we want to encourage the next generation to pick up the reins on a farm, when somebody's ready to retire, it really comes down to profitability.
These guys are absolutely right. We need to develop the markets so we have a place to sell our stuff. Like I said, we can only eat so many apples or whatever else we produce. We've got to have access to those foreign markets. Thanks to WSU and others, and some of your colleagues in other states, we've got to stay on the cutting edge of technology. We've got to be smart farmers and do things as efficiently as possible.
To explain to members of Congress, members of administrations, that farmers are price takers. You don't set the price. You grow it, you put it in, you make your decision a year in advance of what you're going to do in the hopes that you're going to have a contract.
I think if there's any good news here, and I know it's tough to see when we're in such a hole right now, is that members of Congress all over the country are hearing the exact same thing that you've expressed very well.
For Action News, I'm John Franklin.
KIMA's John Franklin, thank you. And Dan Newhouse will be at the Yakima Airport today, visiting over there, and we'll have a reporter going to meet with him then. Let's jump right over to news or meteorology with the man, the myth, the legend, Jefferson Donovan. We're talking about the weather today because it's going to be hot today, but it's only going to get warmer as we head on into the weekend, no?
Yeah, warm today for sure. Very seasonal, though. We should look at temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s, or temperatures should be in the upper 80s and low 90s for this time of year. But as we go through the weekend and into next week, things are going to be turning downright sizzling. So let's take a look outside of what we are expecting on this Thursday. Highs will reach the low 90s in the Tri-Cities today. Anticipate upper 80s to low 90s for the Yakima Valley, upper 80s close to low 90s in the Kittitas Valley, with upper 80s to low 90s for the Blue Mountain foothills. Everybody today will be seeing sunshine overhead. And as we just were discussing, these temperatures this time of year right where they should be. Now, before we talk about the warm-up, let's talk about the wind side of the equation. Yesterday was a pretty breezy day around the inland northwest. Today we are anticipating light wind for everyone. And then as we go into Friday, wind should stay pretty light for a majority of the viewing area, but right along the Columbia River, we are going to be looking at some gusty conditions. In fact, I want to draw your attention to this bottom panel. Typically, I have Pendleton in this slot, but I have Boardman this morning because, again, it is right along the Columbia River or in the Columbia River Gorge where we will be looking at some of those breezy, blustery conditions. In fact, tomorrow in Boardman, we could see winds gusting as high as 20 miles per hour. And it's not just the raw wind speed, it is also the direction of the wind that we are concerned about from the northeast. Whenever we talk about wind with an easterly component, those are very dry winds, and that just enhances the fire danger. There is a fire weather watch in place for the Columbia Gorge from 2 p.m. Friday afternoon until 11 p.m. Friday night, as hot, dry, and breezy conditions will promote critical fire danger. All of us need to practice fire safety in our viewing area, but certainly tomorrow in the Columbia Gorge. Now let's talk about the big warm-up. As we take a look at the upper air model of the Storm Tracker Futurecast going into Friday, there's a ridge that is going to be building over our area, and that ridge is going to promote some pretty hot temperatures, and the ridge is just going to persist. It's not going anywhere. In fact, as we go through parts of next week, this ridge is going to build even further, and that is going to promote some very hot temperatures. In fact, an extreme heat watch has been issued for virtually our entire viewing area from noon on Saturday until 9 p.m. on Tuesday, as high temperatures in spots may reach out and touch 105 degrees. And it's not just our neck of the woods. Also look west of the Cascades, all of those orange colors, those, or I should say that area, those spots with orange on them are where we have heat advisories in place. So all the way around the Pacific Northwest, temperatures are going to be downright stifling as we go through the weekend and into the middle of next week. And in fact, just taking a look at the next 3 days after today, Friday is when that ridge starts to build in, and most of us will be looking at mid to upper 90s, but then temperatures do warm into the upper 90s to low 100s as we do go into Saturday and Sunday. And again, these temperatures are just going to continue through the middle of next week, potentially all the way through next Wednesday. Right now, I'm going to toss it back over to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. The Serving Those Who Served conference in Yakima is underway. KIMA's Aiden Connor reports on the resources offered to local veterans at the event.
The Serving Those Who Served conference provided an opportunity for many service organizations to showcase their willingness to support veterans.
It's so meaningful for our community to have this conference right here, right now. I mean, it's been like 12 years since they've been here. And normally when I do go somewhere, it's in other places. But Yakima, we have so many veterans here.
Organizations who are not primarily service organizations are also contributing to make a difference in the veteran community, including ArtsWA.
And we're a bit of the unicorn in the room, but we have a very strong wellness, arts, and the military program. Hence, that puts us front and center serving veterans and their families here in beautiful Yakima.
One common issue consistent with veterans after their time in service is the ability to find employment.
What I really appreciate about the services we offer is we hire veterans to help veterans with employment barriers, with finding the right job and career. So that's a really powerful dynamic where we have people that are serving others.
Several resources were available for veterans to build their employment profiles. The conference is offering free professional headshots for veterans looking for employment, so I thought while I was here, I would get one myself. The quality was flawless. Washington State Poet Laureate Derek Sheffield was a guest speaker at the conference and sees poetry as a way for veterans to connect with themselves.
I have family members who are those who served, and as the Poet Laureate, I'm an ambassador for the awareness and appreciation of poetry. I definitely believe it belongs here, and based on what I've heard from attendees here, they've appreciated having poetry in the conversation.
The many service organizations in attendance look to provide sufficient support to help veterans grow closer to their local communities. Reporting for Action News, I'm Aiden Connor.
KIMA's Aiden Connor, thank you. And the Serving Those Who Served conference will continue today at the Yakima Convention Center. All of the details are up on our website, KIMATV.com. Switching gears this morning, many people come to the Benton Franklin Fair to have a good time, but for some, it's the culmination of years of hard work and dedication raising farm animals. Hundreds of local kids with groups such as 4-H and FFA all work for years raising all kinds of animals. The goal is to keep them involved in agriculture, but it also teaches them quite a bit more.
Patience is a really good one, and responsibility. Those two are really important ones that I've kind of learned, and then time management and like strength and leadership. Because you got to lead your animal, which is a huge, large animal. It's 1,258 pounds.
At last year's fair alone, local kids sold their animals for $1.5 million. And if you've been to the fair already, don't put away that cowboy hat and belt buckle just yet. The Reach Museum is hosting their annual Western fundraiser event. This year's fundraiser, Spuds and Suds, has an agricultural theme for all of the crops grown in the Mid-Columbia. The event includes a silent auction, a mystery wine bottle pool, costume contest, and an after party featuring a southern rock band called Newtown. Due to school budget cuts, though, this year's fundraiser goal is to raise $80,000 to support what are called STEM programs so children can continue to have museum trips and hands-on classroom learning experiences.
We prepare our students to enter the workforce with skills, and we realize that some kids may choose college, others may choose a technical college or a trade, and we want to make sure that wherever avenue that they pursue, that one that have the interest and the skills and the opportunities to pursue those careers in the future.
The fundraiser event is at 5:30 tonight. Tickets are $80 a person, which covers the cost of food, drinks, and entertainment. All proceeds help fund STEM education programs for students across the Mid-Columbia region. And the city of Sunnyside is hosting a special event today for families with children up to the age of 12. The Literacy and Movement event is free for everyone, with more than 3,000 books and 400 backpacks that will be given away, along with games, snacks, raffle prizes, and even a splash pad for the kids.
Like, we live in a rural community where options to do things with your family or youth is very limited. So when we can provide a space where there's activities, it also creates that excitement.
So when we are able to create spaces like Literacy and Movement, or create events like Literacy and Movement, where we leverage our partners to bring forth resources to the community, it means that now a family member doesn't have to go off and purchase school supplies. So providing school supplies, providing backpacks, providing food, it's someone's dinner.
The event is being made possible by a $5,000 grant from Save the Children and organized in partnership with the Fred Hutch Cancer Center and local leaders. It's at the Sunnyside Community Center from 5 to 7 p.m. And the Kittitas County Public Health Department is offering free back-to-school vaccinations for children and teens from the age of 4 to 18. They'll be available at Ellensburg High School from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. today and at Walter Strahm Middle School in Cle Elum on Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. There's no appointment or insurance needed, but a parent or guardian must be present. Vaccines include MMR, polio, varicella, and more. If you have any questions, you can contact the health department. And students at Garfield Elementary School in Yakima are getting special visitors who are helping them get ready for the upcoming school year. Teachers and staff have been greeting students and families at their homes as part of their annual visits. They've been delivering school materials like folders, student handbooks, volunteer applications, calendars, and goodies like bracelets and magnets.
So we like to host this whenever we can. We've been able to do it for a few years now. And so we go out into the community and we're able to meet the families of our students. Some of our students may be new to the building, or maybe they haven't met their teacher yet, and maybe we haven't met the families yet. So even if we have, it's a great time to reconnect.
The first day of school in Yakima County is next Wednesday, August 27th. And finally, more than 500,000 children in Washington have received nearly $64 million in grocery assistance this summer through Sunbucks, a federal food benefit program. Eligible families who didn't qualify automatically can still apply through August 29th. Sunbucks provides a one-time $120 benefit per child. To qualify, students must attend a school that participates in the National School Lunch or Breakfast Program and meet income guidelines. For more information to apply, you can visit our website. And that does it for us. Thank you for watching this episode of Keep Her Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites. That's KIMA and KeeperTV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a terrific Thursday, everybody.